I guess just, I mean, the most obvious reason for the different sound is like House of Pain, you know, was a collective. You know, we did, you know, work together. It wasn't like one dude. You know, Lethal did tracks. You know, I worked on tracks. I wrote lyrics. Danny wrote lyrics. You know, we had to find a ground everybody could stand on. On this, I pretty much could do whatever I wanted, and I mean, like I tell the story time and again of just like, you know, I started out to make just a straight hip hop record, and I only played guitar and sang to relax, you know, my own, you know, after like being in the studio, I'd go and, you know, and my producer was chilling with me one night and was just like, I got to record that, you know, and I just trusted him enough to do it, and then, you know, liked what I heard, and from since then it's just been like an expansion process of trying to learn and grow, and, you know, live music to me is where it's at, man. I mean, like, you know, I was dealing with samples and digital world for so long, you know, that it's, you know, it's just really fun to play music, you know. I mean, I'd say this record is primarily about starting from there. I went from crazy success into like my own reclusion of like quitting the band and kind of, you know, to having crazy success with Whitey Ford and Almost Dying, and all these things are in there. So I mean, I don't know directly what they, you know, I mean, there's songs like Babylon Feeling where, you know, it's talking about women and being in love with them, but they're all really like possessions or feeling, you know, it's not really women, it's just using women's characteristics, you know. And it's just about being in love with the material world, or, you know, then there's songs about just, you know, I mean, it just, I guess this record is just the most, you know, honest I've just been with myself on a record. You know, just been like, all right, let me just do whatever comes to mind, man. I didn't have but like 2 songs ready when I started recording. I wrote probably 10 of these songs in the studio while we were making the record, you know. So it's all kind of stream of consciousness, just dealing with all the stuff I didn't have time to deal with after my heart attack and surgery. Because as soon as I was capable physically, I hit the road and just started working and didn't look back, you know. And then when I do get a chance to sit down and look back and record, you know, I look back at a year of touring and selling however umpteen million records Santana sold, writing a song for this guy. My record sells 3 million records. You know, it's all these crazy things happen by the time you stop and turn around. All those feelings went into this record, you know. Well, the reasoning for each one of them was, you know, like Carlos appears on Babylon Feeling, because the song was finished, but it was missing something. And just out of the blue one day, we were like, well, I didn't really even think, as funny as it sounds, to call Carlos to be on my record. You know what I'm saying? It seemed kind of obvious, like, but I didn't think of it, you know. And then all of a sudden somebody said, what about Carlos? And I was like, oh my God. And we sent him the song, and, you know, then we flew out and recorded it with him. And Dia Davenport is just a great friend of mine for a decade. You know, I've known her since the 80s, man. So when I wrote Love for Real, I mean, I could pretty much say that, you know, she was the woman's voice that I heard on the song. You know, I was like, yo, let's get Dia to do it. We got another great soul singer, Mary Clayton, on the record, you know, because we were recording a song and it wasn't quite done, and we were like, we need like a Gimme Shelter soul kind of sound on there. And then we just looked at each other and said, well, let's see if we can find Mary Clayton. And it was way easier than you would think, you know, to like get a hold of her and get her to come down and sing. Rozelle from The Roots is on the record. Who else? Be Real from Cypress Hill is on the record with me. Who's just been my friend for, you know, since probably like 1990. So Corrupt, who's just a good friend. We got together. I did a song for his album, actually, and I was just like, you know what, let's, you know, screw all that business stuff. Let's do a song for my record, you know, and you know, we just did it like that. I don't know. I'm actually just feeling comfortable this year now playing live. Like, I think I've made a few lineup changes and from my last tour, and just I feel really good right now about our live show. So I think if you see us live, you're gonna go home and, you know, you're gonna want to hear the record. You'll listen to all of it. You know, I mean, I don't know if anybody's missing anything. I'm just out here making music. It's just music, you know, on the bottom line of it all. It's not like it's super duper important issues of the world type shit. It's music. It's supposed to, you know, make you feel good or something. I look at it like this, man. It's like, you know, I know if I pay to see, let's just say, for example, you know, Neil Young, and I show up and he don't play my favorite song of Neil Young's, with, okay, let's say it's even really cliche, Southern Man. If I don't hear Southern Man, it's almost kind of like, that's whack. You go through periods where you're like, man, I just want to distance myself from this thing, but then you come back to like, well, there's a lot of people out there who love that song and love me for making that song and still dig what I do now, and they can deal with both worlds, you know. And I don't know if I'll go, like, as far as recording records, go back to that sound. I doubt that ever, but I mean, I'll always play some House of Pain songs. We played 2 House of Pain songs tonight. The first song we opened up with was a House of Pain song. You know, I actually did it tonight. I just did like 2, 2, and 2. 2 from House of Pain, 2 from my first solo, and 2 from this record. You know, and there was no other science to it. Just like, let's get down. Well, first of all, as far as that's concerned, that's just between me and him, really. You know what I'm saying? The world just gets to hear it. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm not an active pursuit of like hate Eminem or anything like that. That's my personal, you know, beef. We got a little thing going on, and you know, sooner or later it'll either get squashed or, you know, it'll just kind of fade away or something. But, you know, right now it's just everybody, you know, because he's the hottest cat and this and that. I mean, the reason I'm not putting it on a record is because I don't want it to, you know, my beef with him isn't about his selling records or anything like that. So I didn't want to make it like capitalizing in a monetary way off it. I was just like, here you go. The digital world is out there. It's alive right now. So let's just do it that way, you know. I mean, like, I don't, you know, I mean, I've heard all the things like he said, and like, you know, like everybody's like, oh, that's vicious, this is cruel. I'm like, yo, but it's just words, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, I think it's a good time. Touring, man, touring. I'm just trying to get people aware of the record, you know, and because I think it's a really good record, and like I said, I'm really digging playing live right now, so that's really all I'm thinking about, you know. Shoot a video here or there if they can lock me down into it. Trying to get to that mode where you ain't got to be in them, you know, like animate them or something, you know, but we'll see.